I built 3 of the saddest Clone Wars scenes in 5 minutes, 30 minutes, and 1 hour. The 1 hour build is definitely my favorite in this video, so make sure you stick around to the end to see that. The first part of this video where I built 3 of the other saddest Clone Wars scenes got over 3,000 likes, so if we can smash that and get 5,000 on this video, then I will be giving away a Clone Trooper vs Battle Droid battle pack. All you're going to do to be entered is like the video, comment down below, and subscribe. For the 5-minute challenge, I decided to build the death of Hevy. Hevy died during Season 1 while sacrificing himself by blowing up the Rishi Moon station to alert the Republic of the battle droids that had taken control of the station. I always love the clone final stands and sacrifices during the Clone Wars, although they always make for sad scenes. I started by placing a border around the base of the MOC using black plates and tiles, and proceeded to tile off the rest of the MOC with dark grey tiles, and I also placed some studs to place figures later on. After that, I built the bomb that Hevy detonates. I tried to recreate the bomb that we see in the show, but it was a bit of a hard shape to recreate, so I think this did a pretty good job, and I added some control panels on the side for Hevy to detonate the bomb. After that, I placed the figures. For Hevy, I just used a standard Phase 1 Clone Wars clone as that best portrayed him, and then I placed him down next to the bomb, and I used some just plain B1 battle droids that I'm sure all you guys have a lot of, and I placed 3 of them on the MOC, and here is the final MOC. It's very simple and basic, but I think for the time restraints that I had, I did a pretty good job and captured the scene pretty well in the time limit that I had available to me. Next up, for the 30-minute build, I chose to go with Commander Thorn's death. Commander Thorn died during the invasion of Scipio while fighting off dozens of super battle droids and commando droids during Season 6 of the Clone Wars. His death is probably my favourite final stand in the Clone Wars, so I knew I had to build this for the challenge. So for this MOC, I decided to build it on a 32x32 base plate. I started by adding black tiles all around the outside for a border, and then I tiled off the whole thing with light bluish grey tiles. I also added some dark grey stripes because I saw in the scene that there are some darker stripes on the ground, and I wanted to add some detail. The last thing I did is I added some of the 2x2 jumper tiles just so I can place minifigures on it later on without them falling over. For the minifigures, I used some commando droids. I was really excited to use them in a MOC because I don't think I've ever done that before. I also used a bunch of the B2 super battle droids. This was an obvious figure as there are many of them in this scene. I also used some of the shock troopers because we see a bunch of dead ones on the ground. And finally, I used Clone Army Customs Commander Thorn minifigure. This is such an amazing minifigure. If you guys don't know Clone Army Customs, make sure you check out their website because they have heaps of really cool custom clone figures that are really detailed. And here is the final MOC. Honestly, I'm not really that happy with it because it's just really plain and basic, but it does capture the scene well. I guess it's just a simple scene. I don't really know what else I could have done to make it better, but I'm just really happy that I finally captured this scene in Lego because, like I said before, it's one of my favorite final stands in the Clone Wars. Let me know what you think about this MOC down below in the comments and what else I could have done to make it better. Finally, for the 1 hour build, I chose to go with the death of Fives. Fives was killed by Commander Fox after learning the truth about the clone's inhibitor chips in a very sad and frustrating scene. Fives was a fan favorite clone, making his death even sadder, but my favorite part about this scene is it led to Captain Rex removing his chip during Order 66, which saved Ahsoka's life. So for this scene, I decided to build on a 48x48 base plate, making it the biggest MOC in this video by far. I then tiled off the border with black tiles again, just like with the other 2 MOCs, and then pretty much used 2x2 and some big 6x6 light bluish grey tiles to tile off the entire MOC. I then also did just add some of those 2x2 jumper plates in the middle again, just so I can place the figures on there without them falling over. It looks like this scene takes place in a big warehouse with a bunch of different crates and shipping containers and boxes placed throughout, so I wanted to create a bunch of different types of containers to make this look like a warehouse. So first I created 2 of these big shipping containers. I used dark red and dark grey because I thought those colors looked nice and they fit well into the scene. I placed them both at the back just to kind of create the background to this MOC so I could place everything else in front of it. The second type of shipping container that I created was this olive green one. This one was much smaller, but I think it looks pretty nice and pretty simple, but it does a good job. So I made 3 of them and I placed them down the right side of the MOC. I stacked them on top of each other and I think it looks pretty cool right there. And the next type of shipping container that I made was this little black one. I just used 3 different types of parts to create this, and I think I did a pretty good job of just creating like an ammunition box or something like that. I created a bunch of these and I stacked a few of them on top of each other. Finally, I had a bunch of these little crates from the Clone vs Droid battle pack, so I also just sprinkled them throughout. Remember, if you guys want to get a free Clone vs Droid battle pack, make sure you like, comment and subscribe to be entered into the giveaway. Now that the mock's done, it's time to add the minifigures. First up, I just added 3 of these shock troopers with their helmets removed. Just like we see in the scene, there's a bunch of shock troopers surrounding Fives as he dies in Captain Rex's arm, so I had to include them. The next minifigures I added was Fives and Captain Rex. For the Fives minifigure, I used just a plain Phase 2 clone trooper with the helmet removed. The reason I did this and I didn't use the Fives minifigure is because in this scene, he's just wearing plain clone trooper armor. And for the Captain Rex minifigure, I just used the Captain Rex that I got in the Ultimate Collector Series Venator with his helmet removed. And the final minifigure that I added to the mock was this Clone Wars Anakin. Just like we see in the scene, Anakin's just standing behind Captain Rex watching Fives die, so I had to include him. And here is the final 1 hour build of Fives' death. I'm pretty happy with how this mock turned out, and I'm happy that I got to use some colors in this mock because the previous 2 mocks were just pretty grey and boring. So this one I'm really happy with. Finally created such an iconic and sad death from the Clone Wars. Let me know what you guys think about this mock down below in the comments. And finally, all 3 mocks are done, including the 5-minute Heavy death, the 30-minute Commander Thorn death, and the 1 hour Fives death. If you guys enjoyed these 3 mocks, then make sure you check out the first part of this series where I built Captain Keely's death, I built Wax's death, and I also built the final of Season 7 where we see all the clone graves, including Jesse's. So make sure you let me know in the comments which one of these 3 mocks is your favorite, and if I missed any of these saddest scenes, then let me know in the comments which ones I should build in part 3.